Hello everyone, today we'll be learning chapter 6, our mouth, taste and digestion. In this chapter, we'll be learning about the different digestion processes and about taste. Before we get into the chapter, let's warm up. Jim is coming home from school. As he enters his home, he smells something aromatic. It smells like his favorite dish, rajma with ghee rice. As soon as he smelled it, his mouth started watering and he started feeling hungry. Do you know why Jim's mouth watered and why he started feeling hungry? Now everybody has different tastes. Some like to eat sweets while others like to eat spicy food. What is your favorite dish? Is it sweet or is it savory? We know that we use our mouth to eat food. We use our teeth to take a bite and then we actually chew the food before we swallow it. But do you know what actually happens inside our mouth? Take a bite of the food. Chew it only once. What does it taste like? Chew for some more time. Does the taste change when you chew for more time? This change in taste happens because of digestion processes that take place in our mouth. There are two stages of digestion that happen in our mouth. The first stage of digestion happens in our mouth when we chew the food. When we chew the food, we bite into it and we grind it with our molars. What happens is we are breaking down the food into small pieces. The smaller the food pieces are, the easier it is for us to swallow them. Big food pieces may get stuck in your throat and choke you. The process of chewing and grinding the food is called as mastication. The second stage of digestion starts when the tongue rolls the food into tiny balls called bolus. The taste buds on our tongue detect the taste of the food that we eat. They then send this information to the brain. The brain accepts the tasty food that we eat and we swallow it, but the ones that are not tasty are rejected. Did you know? Our mouth produces 1 liter of saliva every day. What is your mouth like? Is it wet or is it dry? The wetness in our mouth is caused by saliva. Saliva is a wet, sticky, slimy substance in our mouth. Saliva is produced by salivary glands. We have 6 salivary glands in our mouth. Salivary glands are activated to produce saliva when we smell or taste something nice. Our brain stores the information of each smell with it. If we eat jalebi and we liked it, then the next time we smell jalebi, our brain automatically sends information to activate the salivary glands. This is why some foods make our mouth water. Saliva has 2 important functions. Firstly, it helps the tongue in making the boluses. Secondly, saliva has enzymes in it which helps it breaking down the food. So when the food is mixed with the saliva, the enzymes in it break down the food. Let us think. The trachea and esophagus both are present in the throat. Then why does the food only enter the esophagus and not the trachea? Both the esophagus and trachea have their openings in our mouth. That is why we breathe through our mouth too. There are flaps of tissues covering the openings at the back of the throat. These flaps act like doors covering the openings when needed. When we swallow the food, the flap over the 2 pipes moves to cover the way to the trachea. The second flap closes the way to the nose and hence prevents the food from going into the nose. This way the food only enters the esophagus and does not go into the trachea or the nose. Then we swallow the bolus of the food, which is a partially digested ball of food, into the throat. The throat muscles push the ball of food down to the esophagus. The esophagus does not do anything in the digestion process. It simply connects the mouth to the stomach and acts as passage for the food. Some foods make our mouth water while some foods make us gag. This is because of different tastes. There are 5 different tastes that we detect. They are sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. Umami is also called savory.
Foods that are stale or spoiled are not good for us. They generally have a bad or foul taste. Most of the poisons are also bitter in taste. This foul taste alerts us not to eat them. We find it difficult to swallow foods that taste bad. Thus, our sense of taste actually acts as a guard against spoiled food and keeps us safe.
We detect taste with sensory organs called the taste buds. Look at your tongue in the mirror. You can see some bumps on its surface. These bumps are called as papillae, which contain the taste buds. Taste buds contain something very sensitive, microscopic hairs called the microvilli. These tiny hairs transmit the messages to the brain about how something tastes. Most of the taste buds are on your tongue, but some clusters of taste buds are present on the roof of your mouth, your throat, and on your cheeks. There are about 2000 to 10,000 taste buds in your tongue depending on your age. There are taste buds for all 5 taste groups on the inside of the mouth, but one kind of taste buds seem to be clustered in one particular place. For example, the taste buds for sweet are present on all parts of the tongue, but they seem to be clustered at the tip of the tongue. The buds for the sour taste are present on the sides of the tongue. The buds for salty taste are present in front of the tongue, while the buds for the bitter taste are present in the back of the tongue. Let's explore. Taste different foods inside your kitchen. Try to eat a piece of raw bitter gourd. What is your reaction? Similarly, try to taste different foods and note down your reactions to it. Discuss your observations in class. Here's a tidbit for you. Just like fingerprints, tongue prints are also unique for each person. Taste buds fail to work when we eat something too hot or too cold. Taste buds are replaced every 2 weeks. As we grow old, the ability to replace taste buds slows down. Therefore, in old people, they need to eat more of the same substance to create the taste sensation. While when a children eat spicy food, it creates more amount of sensation in a child's mouth than it does in an adult's mouth.
Here's a science top up for you. Olfactory receptors inside the nose contain special cells that help us to smell things. These receptors work together with the taste buds and send messages to the brain. Information from both these sense organs helps the brain to create the correct flavor of the food.
Here is the glossary of the chapter. Gag, to vomit or throw up. Gland, a group of cells in our body that produces. Enzymes, substances in our body that biologically change and cause the regulation of the food. Here is the mind map of the chapter. Mouth, it contains teeth which help in chewing and grinding the food. It also contains salivary glands which contain enzymes. Tongue, they help in making boluses which provide us taste. There are 5 different tastes in our tongue. They are sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami.